Hey, bros, bears, bosom mommies, and everything in between. I'm Buddy, Patrick's dog, top 50 powerlifter of all time. Welcome back to another vlogging episode.
Homies, what do you get when you pair off someone who feels they need to be needed and someone who feels like they're a constant burden?
You get some interesting conversations there.
We've got a bench day going on today. I believe we are working up to 425. I'll keep you guys updated later, but we're going into the mid 400s today with the bench. And we've got the bowl, the breakfast bowl. No, it's my every meal bowl, but the bowl. And in this bowl, we've got 180 grams of 93.7 beef and 3 eggs. There's no ketchup on that today because, you know, some days you just got to bite the pillow and go in raw, you know? Oh, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? I just don't need to see the bench.
Buddy walk, check in. Look at this little guy. What's up, bud? Yeah?
Actually prefers the heat over the cold. He's got a pretty thin coat because he's a red-bone coonhound. And coonhounds have pretty thin coats. His armpits are almost bare. Actually sweats out of them, which is weird for a dog. So he does get a little stinky when he doesn't bathe often enough. But in the wintertime, he gets some nice, handsome sweaters so he can enjoy the cold a little bit better. Because he's just a little guy. He's not made for the cold. He's made for the hot. He's supposed to be a southern boy, but we're up in New Hampshire, so he likes the heat. I'm not built for the heat. Am I sweating all? Yeah, I am. I'm dripping already. We've only been walking for like 5 minutes. How hot was it? It was hot. Moist, muggy. But Buddy had fun. Look at that face. Buddy, did you have fun? Yeah. So my household right now has more people than usual in it right now. And I have a meal that uses Fairlife fat-free milk every single training day. And my brother and my nephews are here. And he goes, hey, can I borrow some milk? I'm like, yes. Just make sure I have at least 16 ounces for tomorrow. I'd prefer 32 ounces so I can have milk for the rest of the week. But just make sure that I have enough milk for my meal tomorrow. That was last night. He was like, okay, whatever. I don't know if he's the only one who used the milk because my dad also uses my milk egregiously. But, boys, we've got the bowl. The bowl. In the bowl, we've got 200 grams of Captain Crunch Berries, the Walmart brand version. And not 16 ounces, we've got less than 11 ounces of Fairlife fat-free milk. I'm grumpy. To achieve the dream, you gotta drink the cream. We are finally on our way to the gym. Bit of procrastination going on there. I personally feel like I need to go through and do a dopamine detox because I find myself doom scrolling a lot more now. And I find a lot of times when I start procrastinating a lot and I start getting a little emotional, a little depressed on things. And I am on an upswing right now. Oh, sorry. I am on an upswing right now mentally, so I'm doing better than I was a couple weeks, or a week, 2 weeks ago, where I was really down in the dumps because I'm taking a little bit more a hold of my situation going on. But I do feel like I need to take a dopamine detox because things like watching TV and doom scrolling and stuff like that, that is pretty indicative of a dopamine addiction. Or trying to dopamine mining. They call it that because they don't want to call it an addiction. If you're constantly craving and urging yourself to look for more and more sources of dopamine, which is a chemical that your body releases, which is, I mean, endorphins, stuff like that, hormones, chemicals, anything, any sort of thing that's not always... What the fuck? What are you doing? Sorry, some guy just decided to park in the middle of the road. But any sort of chemical or anything, you can have an addiction to sugar. Caffeine is one of the most, or sugar is the most addicting thing on the planet. Caffeine, and then the obvious ones, alcohol and nicotine. So you can have addictions to any of those. And what I'm about to say is probably going to come off really well, but any sort of addiction is, as I see it, a weakness. And I personally, I've got the dopamine addiction going on there, and I avoid consuming alcohol or any sort of nicotine products because I don't want to develop an addiction to that things. I also don't play a lot of video games anymore, partly because I don't have enough time to, but also the addiction there as well, because you can get addicted to experiences. I don't have any games on my phone for that exact reason. I don't want to be, but I do have an addiction to dopamine, and that can take many different forms. Mine is just social media usage, and so I have timers on my phone. I set it to 30 minutes, 30-minute timers on Facebook and Instagram. I don't have Twitter. It's difficult because YouTube Shorts are also in that same realm of things that you can doom scroll through. But I can't put a timer on my YouTube because I upload these videos, and I don't want to be restricting myself to upload times less than 30 minutes because I don't want to get locked out of YouTube because I've just doom scrolled on YouTube Shorts for a hot minute. So that's a little bit hard, and I feel like the best way to go about things is to do a full dopamine detox. So it's one of those things where there's not like a clearly defined rule as to what it goes to. It's like you have to identify your instances where you are consuming or mining for dopamine. And so that obviously means no social media usage. Some people say that no music, and it's like the difficult one is consuming literature, books, audiobooks. Is that also dopamine mining? Because I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Audible just finished having a 85% off a lot of their books sale, and I picked up a couple 100 hours worth of audiobooks, so I'm pretty set for a hot minute, probably like 2 months, maybe 3 months worth of audiobooks, because I'll go through probably 50 hours of audiobooks, if not more, a week at 1.2, so 60 hours of audiobooks a week, which is not too bad. I've reduced the speed in which I'm listening to my audiobooks because I'm doing the audiobook narration. I don't want to have that external, you need to be reading at this pace, to be influencing the way that I read. So there's that. So starting on Monday and having that definitive start point is going to be the beginning of my dopamine detox, and I've got to figure out my own defined rules before then, over the next couple days, and journal about them. It's getting a little windy in here. As to what my dopamine detox is going to look like, but I've talked for 5 minutes about stuff that I wasn't going to talk about, or not the main point of this car ride. The main point of this car ride is it's bench day, boys. We are working up to a 3x5 at 420 pounds. Not too heavy, not too bad, 3 minutes rest. And then we've got incline dumbbell bench, sets of, I believe it's 12, no, it's 3x10 with the 125s. See if heat outside, which is, it's 97 degrees outside right now, which is why I had the windows open. The windows open is going to cool off the car a little bit faster than putting the AC on. Once you get kind of like a homeostasis going on in your car, that's when you shut the windows and you turn the AC on. But you want to turn the AC on a little bit before you close the windows, so you don't get that blast of hot air, that initial hot air blast. See if that affects the incline dumbbell bench that we have, because we're also going heavier with the regular bench press, and that's been stressing the system a little bit more recently. So we'll see how that affects our incline dumbbell bench. And then we've got cable flies with close grip push-ups, and I think there's a row variant in there too. You guys are just about to see what's going on today. And then we're finishing off with some dumbbell curls with a pause at the top, but we're going to be going about these dumbbell curls a little differently. One of my buddies that I met at the American Pro 1 and I've been talking with since sporadically, because you know how men communicate, talked to him at the American Pro 2, Ghost Clash 3, a couple other meets there, here and there, and online. Patrick Horvath, really good content creator, produces a lot of really good information pertaining to powerlifting as a whole. He put out this thing about him doing dumbbell curls, and I noticed that he had full supination the entire time, and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for new ways to get a good stretch at the bottom of the dumbbell curl, because I've had bicep tendonitis in the past, and I want to get, I don't want that. That sucks. So I was like, do you feel like you get a good stretch at the bottom? He was like, hell yeah. So we're going to be doing the dumbbell curls a little differently than we have. Sets of 12. We've been using, I believe, the 40 pound dumbbells, 35. I'll have to check my notes, but we're gonna reduce the weight because we're changing the variant, and every time that you change something, you have a little bit of a strength dip. So if you're constantly changing things in your form with things, and your programming with things, and this and that, the way that you go about doing things, always expect that strength drop, so that you don't get depressed every time, because your strength is going to be constantly going down, and you're going to hit a floor, and you don't want that floor to be burnout. You want to recognize, hey, I've changed some things. There's going to be a strength dip. There's going to be adaptation period. Like with my squat, I changed my squat right before the American Pro 2. I had a little bit of a strength dip, only got 1,003, and we're continued to change things with my squat going into the Ghost Clash 3. Yeah. And now things are starting to click, and things are going to start moving a lot better and a lot smoother. So we're done with that strength dip, hopefully. And we're going to actually put up something respectable at the American Pro 3 coming up, which is what we've been prepping for the past. I mean, it's in every single title, American Pro 3 prep. So we're at the gym. It's bench day. I just told you what I'm going to do. So let future Patrick, who had just completed this training day, talk you through how everything felt and how everything, my insights and experiences with this bench day. Bye-bye.
Well, that's not good.
Exactly what I was talking about on the way to the gym, about social media and dopamine addiction going on. So y'all saw that the AC compressor at the gym froze over and thawed and just melted all over the gym. So I can only contact the gym through Instagram, so I turned off the parental controls or whatever, the digital well-being controls on my phone to allow me to go onto Instagram. And obviously, that made me accessible to not super important things, but I got distracted. And did do some doom scrolling, even though I told myself I wouldn't. So training went slower than usual, and I don't like that. But that being said, training went pretty well. The 420 3x5 felt like an empty bar. Nothing hurt, Everything felt good. The bar moved really good. And the kid behind me was like, how do I do leg drive afterwards? He was like, your bench is insane. I was like, I basically just explained a little bit of what I said in my leg drive video going on, because he was like, he's a 181 lifter whose best bench in comp is 275, which is pretty good, especially for a natty lifter and a young kid. So that's pretty good. And I was like, it's you gotta get used to it, and the main thing is making sure that your leg drive is completely horizontal, because that's really where all the drive comes from. And I was like, okay. I was like, just it takes a while to click, but once it clicks, oh boy, does it click. It feels so good. But the first set, pretty good. Second set, literally these sets of 420 for 3x5 were so easy and insignificant that I almost forgot what it was like to be under them. Nothing fell off. The first set, my touch position was a little high. I adjusted, and on the third set, I got more leg drive, and that was the only difference. And we made sure to have a long pause at the end of that third set, just to flex on coach and be like, hey coach, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing to me. This is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Challenge me next time, homie. So we moved on to the I corresponded with my gym and figured out what to do about the leaky AC, and I got some buckets going, and I moved the benches that were getting dripped on. Someone moved them, but not enough. So it was like, did no one actually think to put buckets down to catch the water? Like, I don't know. Probably college kids, let's be honest. But we got that all set up, and I was corresponding with the gym Instagram page, and they told me to turn the AC off, so I did, and it should be all good in the next couple of days if we leave it off. But that being said, it's the hottest week of the year. We've literally got heat warnings going on. So we are in character development mode, where the gym is going to develop some characters. Like last night, I was expecting more people to show up. I left the gym at 6:30. I was just doing cardio on the treadmill, and no one was there yet. And I was like, huh, the heat's really getting to people. I don't blame them though. I'm just a crazy person, and gym is a choice, not an obligation to most people. And can't knock them for choosing the is hot, and dehydration is a thing. So second movement of the day was incline dumbbell bench using the 125s. The first set, I did not kick the dumbbells up as aggressively as I should have. I was like, oh, they're just 125s. It's not good. So my left hand wasn't super good, and it kind of hurt getting the dumbbells in the right spot. But set 2 and set 3, wicked easy, wicked good, wicked clean, and I didn't struggle, because I was like, I just got to kick these up higher. And so we moved on to the incline dumbbell skull crushers, sitting up kind of far on the bench there, so that we can get an extended range of motion with those. So we've been using 40-pound dumbbells, but I've been having some elbow and shoulder kind of ickies going on. It's not injuries, it's you know what it feels like when it's like not grindy, but like not painful, discomfort going on. A lot of discomfort going on in my left elbow and left shoulder. So I opted to reduce the weight on these and emphasize the range of motion, because a lot of pains and nicks and tweaks and things develop because of a lack of elasticity in the muscles being used. Meaning, if we're having some sort of injury, or well, not injury, but like discomfort, pain, issues going on, then what's going on is that lack of elasticity, and we need to take a step back and readdress what's going on there. So we took the we used 30-pound dumbbells. We reduced it by 10 pounds, and we tried to emphasize and extend that range of motion, control it down the eccentric a lot more aggressively, slowly than we have been previously, and trying to focus on maintaining a consistent elbow position going on there. And that made it feel a lot better. And I feel like I got a lot better of a tricep pump going on there, because we had that consistency. We were hitting the muscles that we were trying to hit, as well as we weren't recruiting any outside muscles that we shouldn't be recruiting. So it was a better accessory. So reducing the weight on those made me make more progress, which is it's always good when that happens. And then we moved on to the cable flies, incline cable flies with the close grip push-ups, superset 3x20, 90-second rest on those. Trying to make sure that we have a lot of range of motion and really emphasizing and feeling the stretch on that eccentric, trying to get an extended range of motion there, because I do have tight pecs. And when I neglect the elasticity of the muscle fibers in my pecs, I get a lot of panic attacks because I get tight chest. And everyone knows, if you say, hey, I have a tight chest, everyone freaks out. Everyone freaks out. And when everyone freaks out, you freak out. So it gives you a lot of panic attacks. So it's like I got my left shoulder feeling a little and we're doing the close grip push-ups. My left shoulder was So you put together chest tightness with left arm pain, and you convince yourself that you're dying. And that's not a fun feeling to go to bed every night with the your muscles going into REM. When you fall asleep, you have subconscious muscle twitches, and a lot of it happens during REM. And if you can almost catch when you feel weightless falling asleep, you can almost catch consciously catch those twitches. And when you're relaxing and all those, and things don't really relax and they stay tight, they kind of hurt when you're going to sleep. So you got, sometimes I get right arm pain and chest tightness while I'm falling asleep. It's completely muscular, but I still get a panic attack, and I've developed somnophobia. So I'm on medication that just knocks me out when I go to bed. So after that, it's chest flies and close grip push-ups. It's an accessory, making sure we're getting that extended range of motion with the pecs, really feeling that stretch and trying to get a good range of motion. Focus on the explosiveness of the close grip push-up to develop as much muscle as possible. And then we finished off with the fully supinated dumbbell curls, sets of 12, that I talked with Patrick Horvath about, that I mentioned earlier, trying to have that supination throughout there. And I noticed that my left elbow has a little bit of struggle locking. So getting that stretch in there is going to be really good at helping with the bicep and tricep health going on there. And I felt like I got a much, much bigger pump going from these dumbbell curls with the full supination throughout the movement, because I'm able to extend that stretch and really feel it at the bottom. We did reduce the weight on them, and we struggled a lot more during them. At the end, we had to get rid of the supination for like the last 4 reps of the last set, because we had a 3x12 that we were doing, and we had to get rid of the full supination during that, and because it was so hard. So I really like that change and adjustment that we added to the dumbbell curls that we used to finish off the bench day. And now I have driven home and I've arrived. I'm gonna go give Buddy a puppy hug, and I'm gonna prep my rice because I forgot to prep that before I left for the gym, and that needs to be prepped. And then I'm gonna head out to pick Buddy's other human up from adult daycare. So see you when I see you.
That's it. That's my day.
Now I'm going to sleep. Like, comment, subscribe. Patty out.